This is Gilbert Andrew Garcia of A Tip from Gilbert, talk, inspiration, and prayer. Listen to my show every Monday from 11 to 12 on KWWJ 1360 AM, KYOK 1140 AM, KCOH at 1230 KCOH.com, Sankeet Radio at 95.1 FM, 1460 AM, and Latino Sports, KEYH 850 AM. Call in at 832-570-8075 and follow me on social media. See you then. All right, Houston, Harris County, you have me with another tip from me. Talk, inspiration, prayer, and I have one of my favorite people of all time. And, of course, I believe she's one of the greatest mayors we've ever had. But, you know, it goes further back because when you really think about people running for county judge, there are a few that have the credentials of Annise Parker. I mean, I mean that. And welcome, Annise Parker.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know, when you think about it.
Well, no one who could run has more experience in local government. And certainly nobody in the race.
It's 100%.
Yeah.
Because think about it. Not only have you been a community activist, not only have you been a parent and all those wonderful things that, you know, are so important in life, but you were a council member. You were the city controller. You've dealt with big budgets. You were mayor during a time when, you know, there was a lot of, you know, different economic issues going on. Can you imagine that? It's chaos. I think the word is chaos. And we're going to talk much more.
And it's got to be hard for the markets.
Oh, it's terrible. And there's just, it's one of those things where the unpredictability of it all. Yeah. And what it flows through, the feedback loop is, it starts with companies that don't know, should I hire, should I not hire? Should I expand my plant or should I not? Because they don't know the investments they should be making. And then it goes to, well, if they're stopping, then that impacts the employment. And that's the whole feedback loop. And that's why you're starting to see so many layoff announcements. And you combine it with technology and AI and all these things that we still don't quite haven't filtered in or we don't quite understand. But it's just going to be more and more and more chaos. Can you imagine right now if you were mayor, how would you plan for this? I mean, it's just got to be like hunker down and you can't count on the federal government.
You don't know whether ICE is coming in and going to surge. You don't know whether there's going to be a FEMA because he wants to do away with FEMA. They've already laid off. A lot of the things we need from the federal government and expect from the federal government are slow because they laid off all the folks. They didn't replace them. And so anybody who knows what's going on is gone. So things take longer. I mean, that's one of the reasons that the floodplain maps for this region were sitting up in Washington and have finally come down. And then now to lay over that the threat of war, and there will be retaliation. There will be terrorist strikes.
Oh.
And this isn't probably an illegal war because Congress didn't authorize it, but the quiescent Congress is just going to roll over for, the Republicans up there are just going to roll over for Trump. It's just, it boggles the mind.
It really does.
And so quickly that it happened in our country.
He hasn't even been there 1 year, right? Or has it been 1 year? 1 year. It's been 1 year.
Yeah.
1 year. Can you imagine the next president is going to have to spend their whole 4 years repairing the 1 year?
And the economy, rebuilding the bureaucracy. And I'm glad you brought a prayer for peace, because we all need to be praying that right now.
Isn't that true?
Iran needed a regime change. But what he says he's going to do is we're just going to drop the bombs and leave and hope it works out. Oh, that's really a great idea.
When you think about Iraq, that was sort of the last time we had this big regime change, and I mean a massive one. We had several 100,000 troops on the ground over there, and even then we couldn't really restore order, and probably couldn't wait to get out of there. You can't just do this by dropping some bombs just from the air. You're going to have to put boots on the ground, and you're going to have to really try to rebuild their infrastructure as society.
He's going to let them work it out. So you're going to have sectarian violence and civil war.
Yeah, and you're going to have refugees everywhere. Yeah. Everywhere.
Except not in America, because he won't let them in.
Because we could go on and on, but it really is.
I'm getting depressed.
Well, on that note, this is a time for prayer. So, Houston and Harris County, if you're listening, just take a quick second with me as I read this prayer. It's called A Prayer for Peace. And it says, Lord Jesus Christ, you are the true King of peace. In you alone is found freedom. Please free our world from conflict. Bring unity to troubled nations. Let your glorious peace reign in every heart. Dispel all darkness and evil. Protect the dignity of every human life. Replace hatred with your love. Give wisdom to world leaders. Free them from oppression. Eliminate all violence and war. Glorious Virgin Mary, Saint Michael the Archangel, every angel and saint, please pray for peace. Pray for unity amongst nations. Pray for unity amongst all people. Pray for the most vulnerable. Pray for those suffering. Pray for the fearful. Pray for those most in need. Pray for us all. Jesus, the Son of the living God, have mercy on us. Jesus, hear our prayer. Jesus, I trust in you. Amen. Amen. There are so many incredible lines here when you talk about bring the dignity of every human life, protect every human life, replace hatred with your love. I mean, some of these words are so important and so glorious. I don't know who wrote this, but it's wonderful. Yeah. So, Mayor, let me ask you this. Comment on the turnout, because I keep getting things.
It's eye-popping.
Yeah, I keep getting people that I don't even know about, and I know that our congressman, congressional candidate is on hold there. Terry Virts, we're going to be getting to you in just 1 minute. If you could there, Mayor, I get things from people, I don't even know them, about the turnout is this and this. How do you see it from your eyes?
There's a surge in turnout on both sides statewide. And it is primarily on the Democratic side, but the Republicans are turning out higher than normal as well. But the Democrats, we made double expected turnout. And most of these people who are showing up are not normal Democratic voters. They are voters. It's not like random people who suddenly got energized. It's people who vote in November but realize that the primary needs their attention, because they're either showing up to vote for somebody or against somebody. And I suspect on both sides it is the Senate campaign. I mean, we have a hotly contested great candidates on the Democratic side, and then you have the old warhorse Cornyn and Paxton on the other side. And I think there people are just showing up for and against, and that's driving turnout. And for those of us who are down ballot, we don't know what these people are going to do, because they're not normal Democratic primary voters. So none of us have been sending a messaging or talking to them. I mean, it's a good thing people are engaged, and I think it is a direct result of great candidates, but also the chaos and the turmoil that our Republican leadership here in the state has been stirring up with the changes in the congressional lines. People are pissed. They don't know where, who's my new representative.
Right.
I don't like this. I know Terry Vert's on the, holding on the line. He's, been a victim and a beneficiary of this redistricting.
Right. Well, let me ask you, Mayor, you're a veteran of many elections.
My 12th time on the ballot. I hate to say that.
Can you believe it's been 12 times?
I can't.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Have you felt like this? I mean,
this is my first partisan race. They are a little bit different.
Very interesting.
But the dynamics of campaigning are the same, but how you talk to people and who you talk to differs.
And do you feel like this election, I mean, it seems like we always say this is one of the most important elections in our lifetime. We always tend to feel that, but somehow this seems different.
With Donald Trump in the White House, absolutely. I don't think it's hyperbole to say that, because he is aggressively dismantling democracy and destroying the view of America around the globe. And he is, with his masked gunmen from ICE on the streets of American cities, he's creating an internal army, and he has unleashed them on American cities and American citizens.
As soon as he wants to and wherever he wants to.
Yes.
Well, but Mayor.
And they're not following the Constitution. So anyone who doesn't respect the Constitution, we have to be wary of and worried about.
Shouldn't really for office, in my view, but
True.
But what do I know? Other than I am a voter, and I'm going to give my opinion at the polls tomorrow. And don't forget, Houston, tomorrow is election day. Make sure you vote, no matter who you vote for. Make sure you vote. Right, exercise your right.
Either primary, just vote.
That's right.
People not showing up is how we get into these.
That's right.
Problems in the first place.
Let's bring in Mr. Verts there. Commander, are you there?
I'm here. Nice to talk to you again, Gilbert, and Mayor, you as well. I love hearing this conversation.
Well, we didn't mean to keep you on hold there, but Commander, let me ask you this. What do you see out there? I mean, you have given your life to service, and you have been one of those people in the planes. You've been one of those that have done these, served your country in combat. And the space station.
It's an astronaut.
Yeah, I mean, you're an American hero. Let me ask you this: are you just, when you see what's happening right now, are you just going like, "Holy cow, what was it all about? And how did this happen?" Well, what's your feeling?
Yeah, well, for the war in Iran, my first feeling is prayers for our troops and for their safety and success. I'm glad Khomeini's gone. May he rot in hell. He had the blood of Americans on his hands. But what's happening right now, Gary, I think the mayor just said it. This is an illegal war. Congress didn't approve it. There's no strategy. The president said he hopes that the leaders lay down their arms. Well, if we used to joke in the military, if you're ever in a military planning mission and the word hope ever comes into the conversation, you know that you're in a bad place. And hope is not a strategy. So this is just an absolute disaster. There's no plan for what the future. So I'm concerned about that. The complete ignoring of the Constitution. That's why I'm running. I mean, if this were normal times, I wouldn't be running for this office. But I'll just say this real quick, and I think the mayor just summed it up great. What I tell people is really simple. Vote like this is your last election. I don't mean to be hyperbolic, but we need to vote like this is our last election. And as she said, the turnout's been eye-popping. We need even more turnout. So please get out, vote your conscience. The Republicans are trying to steal our elections. I mean, the director of national intelligence is collecting ballot boxes. Greg Abbott is giving the federal government our data. They're going to mess with these elections very badly, and we need to overwhelm them with so many votes that there can be no doubt and no theft. So please vote like this is your last election. Tomorrow is our primary.
Well, stay with us for a minute, because let me turn to Mayor Parker, and I'm going to ask you to comment as well. So, Mayor, I saw something about, there's this 17-page memo, something about how they're going to take over the elections. I mean, is that even possible? I mean, with all the checks and balances that we have in the court.
There are no checks and balances in Congress right now, because they're acquiescing to everything that Trump does. The pushback from the courts, particularly from the Supreme Court, has been rare. And he is the kind of human being and the kind of leader, he's going to push, and push the boundaries, and until someone slaps him back. He has been lying about his the end of his first term and Biden election since it happened, and talking about the Great Steal, which wasn't a steal. So he's been lying about this. He's been building to this. So yes, his willingness to break the rules and ignore the Constitution makes me very worried that he will try. Now, voting is left to the states legally. However, if you don't respect the rule of law, what does legal mean?
That's the whole point. What does legal even mean anymore? The answer is, Mayor, I don't know. But if the mayor could, if someone just called and said, we're now going to be taking over all the equipment, and we're now going to put, National Guard at every polling station, and we're going to require IDs, all these things are not legal, I guess you'd have to comply.
Well, no.
Right?
If you don't believe it's illegal action, we all swear. Every elected official swears an oath to the Constitution. If you don't think that what you're being told to do is illegal, you have a responsibility to stand up. But it's the governor that would call out the state guard and allow the National Guard. So we may be lining up against our own government here in the state. If Trump, again, Trump has seemed to have an extraordinary power over state level Republican officials, and if all of these, the last 4 years of trying to uncover voter fraud that cost him an election didn't happen. They didn't discover anything. Now he's just going to throw the roll book and nationalize the elections again. One would think that when I say local, the state elected officials would push back, but I don't have faith in Abbott to do that.
Oh, my goodness. Well, it reminds me of weapons of mass destruction that weren't there. But let me come back to you, Commander. So when you talk about, combat, one of the things I thought I saw, and if I'm wrong, please correct me here, either you, Mayor, or you, Commander, which is I thought they said that 3 of our, great planes were, quote, unquote, I don't know if they were shot down or something, but it was friendly fire. Did you see anything about that, Commander?
Yeah, I saw that.
And what does that mean necessarily?
So these are F-15Es. I actually flew the Strike Eagle. It's a really great airplane. And we've been based and operating in Kuwait since Desert Shield in 1990. So they should know how not to shoot down our own airplanes. So this is shocking. Of course, there will be accountability. There won't be with Pete Hegseth at the helm. And that's very concerning. And apparently the 6 crew members were able to eject. But the other thing that Pete Hegseth has been saying is about how precise and how lethal this is. Well, unfortunately, and I just verified it with a journalist, it sounds like there was a bomb that hit a girls' school and killed over 100 apparently girls in Iran. I literally just had that verified about an hour ago. So that's a terrible mistake. Well, I don't know what happened, but to hear all of this talk about how great Trump is and how he's, has guts, and they say he's got balls. He actually didn't go to fight. When the nation called on him, he became a draft dodger and had bone spurs. And so I hate hearing all of this bravado while unfortunately these civilian casualties are happening. It's terrible. This is going to be generational damage to our nation's reputation.
I don't know if you know, I did martial arts for about 11 or 12 years at Taekwondo with my kids. And one of the things they teach you is the whole purpose of Taekwondo is to not fight. That is the whole point. And the whole art of it all is self-defense. Not go out and, beat somebody up and not go attack someone, but it's really about self-defense. It's about teaching not to fight, controlling your emotions, all those sorts of things. And so for me to think, he's tough and this and that, I'm not so sure that's a good thing. The whole point is you got to let diplomacy work out. And when you're going through diplomacy, well, at the same time, then you're going ahead and plotting to go, bomb their leadership. That just sounds, you're double dealing somehow, Mayor. That doesn't feel right to me.
Well, when they renamed the Department of Defense, again, illegally, when they renamed the Department of Defense the Department of War, It's the chess meeting,
That's right,
and,
that's right.
and mine's bigger than yours.
Yeah. He's got too much of this bravado. He's watched too many like John Wayne movies or something, and it's in him. Well, I'm going to give you the last word here, Commander, which is, first of all, how are you doing? This is your first time to be on the ballot. You're talking to one of the most incredible veterans who's been on the ballot. Was it 12 times? 12 times. So let me ask you this. How are you feeling? Are you, I don't know, are you nervous? Are you excited? Are you all the above? Are you going to be able to sleep at night? Are you going to be, at 7 o'clock tomorrow, you're going to collapse? I mean, how are you feeling?
Well, I'm certainly open to any and all advice that the Mayor Parker has for me. This is an interesting race. When I go out and I'm on my way right now to start knocking on doors, I love that. That energizes me, talking to voters. That I really get a lot of that. But this is an open seat. Nobody in the district has, knows who's who, and so there's a lot. I feel a big fire under my butt. Like I got to get out there and work harder. The Chronicle endorsed me. They said that if Democrats want to win this seat, that I'm the guy to vote for in the new District 9. So that meant a lot to me. But I still feel, I'm definitely not overconfident at all. I feel like we got to go do a lot of work. But talking to voters energizes me, and having the Chronicle say that I'm the Democrat who can win this seat meant a lot. And of course, winning is so important. I tell people, vote like it's your last election. We got to take back the House. As the mayor pointed out, there's no accountability. There's no congressional congressmen doing their duty, and so we have to win back the House. And District 9 is a way to make them.
And it should be beneath the dignity of the I'm a member of Congress. 'Cause it's obviously not beneath the dignity of the president, but I don't know that was particularly helpful for
That's
Al.
right. And to have someone scream out, "You're a liar!" back when Obama or Joe Biden was talking, at the State of the Unions, and then now, it just at some point you got to have respect for the office itself, and you can have combat after political combat, but not during. Let him have his moment to talk to the American people. That's my view there, Mayor.
I agree with that, but sounds a little old-fashioned now.
Doesn't it?
That we should respect people on the other side of the aisle.
Well, let me ask you this, Mayor.
But we have to stand up when something really hits the fan, like your comment earlier. If he tries to nationalize the election, every one of us as citizens needs to push back.
It's like the old John Lewis, the great congressman, said, "If you see something, say something."
Well, in good trouble.
That's exactly right. Good trouble. So let me ask you, Mayor, you're out there, you're knocking on doors. I've seen your mail pieces. They're fabulous. Hopefully you'll have a great victory, tomorrow night. And then what happens? Are we going to just go right back to work immediately? You're going to take a couple of days?
Take a couple of days.
I mean, I was going to say,
do the laundry, that sort of thing.
Introduce yourself to Kathleen, et cetera. No, really, I really mean it. You're going to take a couple of days, and then it's right back.
But the campaign doesn't stop.
That's right.
Correct. Because it is because of the nature of primaries, and that's why I said it was a surprise to see all these voters show up, we generally talk to the people who normally vote in primaries. And so then after the primary election, you pivot and begin having conversations with everybody in Harris County.
And so what do you think that people, well, so far, what are people really most concerned about? Is all the national stuff dominating, or is it just the old-fashioned, I can't afford to do anything, I can't afford to go eat, I can't afford to pay my bills? What do you see out there?
Well, there are a multitude of things, and it is the economy, it's worried about the future of this region, and storms and flooding, it is crime. But on the right, the Republican candidates, all they want to do is talk about crime, 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 and it's like it's like it's a war zone.
Mm-hmm.
Crime is an issue in any big city, and crime is always a concern. But if you talk to the folks that I'm talking to, blue collar folks, labor folks, it is the economy. It's the inability to afford housing. They feel like they're being, pushed farther and farther away from their jobs. And then for a certain subset of Harris County, it is, we've got to get a handle on flooding in this region. And I know you were a horrible victim of your region. I mean, your house.
My region.
You
yes.
Not personally, but all the people around you.
That's right. It was like 3 feet of water in their houses.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just unbelievable. You can see sometimes in the brick, the water line where it was, because the dirt's a little different on the brick.
Yeah. So you moved farther away.
Mayor, it's when I think about what people are concerned about, I just think about my own life, and here I am. I've had a little bit of a success, etc. My child, I have the one that's a senior at LSU, and then I have my baby, my Juju, who's first year at U Chicago. And I remember thinking, one day these great universities are going to be $100,000 a year. I didn't know it'd be now. It's $100,000 to go to these great schools, and it's all of them. And now even the state schools are expensive, period. And so I'm thinking to myself, God, how do people, that's unbelievable. And then the other day I went for breakfast with my wife, Dee Dee. And we went and we both had, 2 eggs and, toast, and she had coffee and I had lemonade. $35 just to have breakfast. And then I remember I went with one of my colleagues. We were traveling for work, and we were at the airport. And we went to I won't name the name, but one of the normal hamburger joints. And first of all, there's a kiosk, and we couldn't figure out how to do the kiosk. So the lady had to come from the kiosk to show us, from behind the counter to show us. And then, of course, you can't really do it how you want to do it because the sauce and this and that, you can't figure it out. And so she just had to yell at them in the back. And don't do that, it just wasn't making any sense. And so we got 2 fries, 2 hamburgers, and I got a water, and she got a coffee. $55.
Whoa.
$55. And this isn't like, a sit-down lunch or dinner or anything. Mayor, think about everyday people, and I'm an everyday person, and I feel it. I'm like going, what? It just seems to me.
Economy. That's what the people I talk to see. It's the economy that truly worries them. And it is the economy of today, but it is also they're feeling priced out of the housing market. We used to brag about how we were the most affordable big urban region in America, and we still are, but that doesn't mean as much as it used to because the prices have gone up so much. And the amount of money we're spending in this illegal war for regime change in Iran is we could make community college. We could make community college. We ought to actually, but we could make community college free for everybody in America, where you could actually get usable skills that you could turn into the workforce.
And then again, I will admit I've had some success, but when you see these people that are billionaires and $10 billion and $100 billion, and maybe someone's going to hit a trillionaire, I'm like, my goodness, when is enough? And they don't.
Elon Musk is doing it off of the public dole. Yeah. That's what's so frustrating.
And they don't want to do something like pay a little bit more taxes for the good of society. and the good of your legacy, because you're not going to be able to take it with you, Mayor. You can't take it with you.
True.
It's just hard for me. We got a caller though, I think. Who's on there? Dominic, are you there? Dom, is that you?
Is that a baby in the background?
Is that a baby I hear in the background? Okay, we'll just go ahead and move on for Dominic. Dominic, you better take care of that child I hear in the background, because I hear somebody. I think we have another caller, though, already. Hold on, let's put that through. Larry? Larry, are you there? Larry, are you there? Hold on there, Mary.
We're having some technical difficulties.
Yes. That's okay. We're going to move on. So, Mayor, going back.
So
go
let's pivot a little bit to tomorrow, because tomorrow is election day
Yes.
across the state of Texas, and again, big turnout. What we're all going to be watching for is, did everybody who wanted to vote early, or are we going to? Is the surge going to continue on election day? I suspect it's going to continue on election day, and I'm telling people, if you haven't voted, go out early, because there's going to be long lines. It is the longest ballot in the country.
Is that right?
And it's at least on the Democratic ballot, there were 141 screens on my ballot. I was on screen. I was on screen 69, so I'm way in the
There's
middle.
141 screens?
Screens, so like you keep paging through.
Oh, my God.
There's propositions at the end. Not meaningful propositions, meaning that they don't actually have any weight. It's sort of a, random questions from the Democratic Party. There are random questions from the Republican Party on their ballot. But we have so many unopposed races too, and they still appear on the ballot. And so you're paging through and paging through. So, give yourself 10 to 15 minutes to actually vote. If you come in with your list, and come in with a list, don't try to go through the ballot at the polling place. Do your homework in advance. Go to the League of Women Voters website and get their report. Go to the Houston Chronicle and get their recommendations. Turn to an organization that you trust. But what I like about the Chronicle is that they actually explain why they picked certain people in these races. But their list is a good list. But start from there. Go with it in your hand, because there's a lot of names on the ballot.
Well, I want to dispel a myth out there, and I know we have a caller there. Just hang on. And that is that, I had put something out on social media, and I was amazing at how many people just assume that the Houston Chronicle only endorse Democrats.
No, they have a full endorsement on both sides.
That's exactly, and I just wanted to dispel that myth. So Houston, Harris County, and to the universe here, the Chronicle does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Because first of all, they care.
Well, they endorsed me, so I thought they did a good job. But no, I actually thought they did an excellent analysis, because I've gotten to see all of these judges that no one knows who these judges
That's right.
are. I have seen all of them over and over again in the Democratic primary, and I have strong opinions about them. And, the Chronicle really does their homework.
Well, here, I can say this with true fact, because they did not endorse me when I ran for mayor. But you know what? That's okay, because at the end of the day, they put in a lot of work. They really look at the facts. They really try to get deep. I was part of the interview. They only interviewed three of us, me, the great Sheila Jackson Lee, and current Mayor Whitmire. And so I made it to the three. And they interviewed all three of us, and they asked very pointed but fair questions. And just another dispel the myth, there were no questions given to me and us in advance, nothing like that. It was just come in and let's have a conversation, and they were rapid fire, and they were all there, the editorial board, and you know what? They did a great job. I'm sure that's what happened with you, right? There's no way, they don't give you the questions or anything.
No. And unfortunately, a lot of Republicans refused to screen with the Chronicle. And now they did an analysis of a lot of those candidates as well, just like looking at their writings, looking at their public statements. We need independent journalism.
That's right.
Should support
big time. And the other interesting thing is on some of the social media, when I put out, because I will troll myself, and I'll put some comments back, and they'll say, well, when I say, well, they do endorse Republicans, they say, well, those are rhinos. And then I wrote back. I said, well, I don't know. I'll let you decide and judge what a rhino is. But they've endorsed Dan Patrick, Abbott, Steve Raddick, Alex Mueller. I mean, they've endorsed many Republicans over the years and even now. And so I said, I don't know if those are rhinos or not, but I'll let the public decide. Yeah. So I think that's a kind of a cop-out.
Do your homework. Do your homework. Because it is a long, long list.
And, you know, I know there's someone home. I just want to go to another thing. Mayor, I'd like to think that I'm an educated person, but when I get to these judges, I'm embarrassed. I don't even know what some of these courts are.
There's no reason that you should, because there's a lot of them. You know, the civil side, the criminal side. You got probate judges, family court judges, the misdemeanor. You know, the JPs. And unless you're practicing in those courts, no one knows who they are.
Yeah, I don't know what they do.
You don't want to be in front of. It's a good thing when you're in front of judges.
I don't. Ain't that the truth? But I've tried to get some of the judges and people to talk about. You know, what do they really do?
They're constrained at what they can talk about. They can talk about the daily job, but they have to be very, very careful legally as to what they weigh in on.
Interesting.
And they can't endorse each other.
They cannot?
No.
Interesting. Well, let me ask you this, Mayor. Is there such a thing as, if you're elected, and this is your first election to be a judge, you know, judge training class or anything? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
And when you're elected mayor, is there something that's like, let us prepare you for being mayor?
No. It's truly not.
It's just let's go.
The outgoing mayor, you know, they prepared briefing books for me, and when I left office, I had prepared briefing books
of like the key things going on.
Yes.
Oh, very interesting. But
you're not like a class. Although there are some universities that do transitions for members of Congress, or Harvard does some great ones for like new mayors. You know, it doesn't really help you in that the rules of that chamber, but it helps you with good ideas, how to hire staff, that sort of thing.
Well, that's probably one of the hardest things of all,
Staff
which is
yes.
Yeah, because you got to have good staff around you.
Yes,
because that
you
gives
can judge a politician immediately by who they hire.
And that gives you the freedom.
And Trump with his conspiracy of dunces up there.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Well, you've always had a great staff.
Yes.
You've always had a great staff.
Thank you. Yes, always prided myself on having really experience. I hire for experience.
I think it's because of all the obvious, but I also think people enjoy working for you. You're high integrity. You're very fair. You're fun. People like to be around you.
Well, thank you.
I think people.
People stay with
like
me.
It.
This is the 10th. My campaign team. This is the 10th race we've had together, and my people that work for me in the mayor's office, unless they retired, they pretty much stayed with me the whole time.
What a great. That is like the greatest endorsement of all.
No turnover.
No, that really is. Congratulations, Mayor. We have a caller there. Let's get that caller. I know that somebody was Larry Rubin. Larry, are you there?
I'm here, Gilbert, and thank you for taking the call and right on cue, because I actually got endorsed by the Houston Chronicle myself. So,
no kidding. Well, tell us again, if you don't mind. You're running for Congress, and you're running in the old Wesley Hunt district. It's for lack of a better word, a very red area. But let me ask you this: how's it going? And there's how many of y'all running on the Republican side?
The Republican primary, there's 10 of us in total, and just as you were explaining, the Houston Chronicle did a very intense job of talking to each one of us and really getting to know us and analyzing where we come from, what we have done, how we can impact Houston. And I was honored, surprised. I didn't really know anybody. I actually didn't know anybody in the Houston Chronicle, so it wasn't that a friend of mine or anything. But suddenly, someone I knew sends me a note and says, have you noticed that you just got endorsed by the Houston Chronicle? I was like, what? So I'm honored. I'm honored that they find me as a fervent, they called it fervent advocate for Houston's interests.
Well, for the record, people always say, well, Gilbert, you're too partisan. Well, I've had Tom Ramsey on my show. I had you on my show, or you talked here and you're calling in. I've had Raquel on the show. At the end of the day, I always try to find, what really motivated people to get involved in public service and sort of who inspired them. Those are the things that I really key up on. But let me ask you this. How many are on the Democratic side? Because I'm not even sure.
So I really have not focused yet on the Democratic side, but I believe there's more than three. I've seen three prominently in the polling sites. I spent for early voting. I spent 12 hours a day in polling sites, talking to voters and meeting folks and so forth. And I did see a constant participation of about two or three from the Democratic side.
Wonderful. Well, let me ask you this. One thing about you, because I know a little bit about you now, is you're one. I'm going to say something I don't mean for you to take it the wrong way, and I don't want to send the wrong signal to Houston Harris County, because everybody knows I'm a true blue Democrat. But at the end of the day, you're one of the most rational Republicans I've ever met and that I know. And so hopefully you're taking that the right way. But I know that you believe in, free trade. You believe in a lot of great things. You believe in sort of a more humane way on the border. I mean, I congratulate
Gilbert, you and I believe in free trade and secure borders.
That's exactly right. That's why he's, I wonder if that's going to hurt you though, Larry. You think or no?
I'm hoping that it doesn't. I really believe that in our district there's a little bit of everything, right? There's folks that are in one extreme or the other, and at the end of the day, when you became an elected official, you're working for the great people of the district, of the county, of the city, of the state, right? And it doesn't matter if it's blue, if they're blue or they're red. At the end of the day, you're representing everyone. So my feeling is you have to understand each side. You might have a certain way of looking at things, but at the end of the day, we're all a big family, as I see it. So when I get into office, my idea is work for the great people of the district and naturally of the state to impact positively the families of Texas and of Americans. So that's really how I see it, Gilbert. And that really has been the guiding principle that has taken me to serve, or to want to serve, which I have never, to want to serve in in the public arena.
Well, let me ask you this. Are you excited?
Very, very excited.
I mean, this is, you're talking here with Mayor Parker, who's one of the classiest and most experienced persons we've ever had, actually, in public office.
And Gilbert is one of the biggest cheerleaders out there. He's always excited.
I appreciate that.
What an honor, Mayor. Thank you.
No, I mean, she's been about 12 times, and this is your first time. But are you excited? I mean, how you feeling?
I am very, very excited, and I've been talking to constituents for several weeks, but directly at the polling station, and it's been awesome. I've heard some fantastic stories, even some sad stories of issues that happen in the district and how the government hasn't been able to resolve it, and it's uplifting to think that you might be able to impact positively the lives of those individuals and of many others. So I'm very excited. I'm eating at my nails that way, until Tuesday, and it's 24 hours away, a little bit more than 24 hours away.
But who's counting, right, Mayor? Who's counting?
Yeah. But he will definitely have a runoff. With so many people in
that's
the,
right.
in,
The math
in the
just
race.
doesn't
So his race will not be over.
That's
tomorrow.
right.
I'm hoping mine is.
Well, Larry, we wish you nothing but success. So thank you for calling in, my friend.
Thank you, Gilbert. Thank you, Mayor, and wish you the best.
Wonderful. We have a Mark from Houston. Is there a Mark there? Mark, are you there?
Hold on there. Gilbert?
Yeah, you
yes,
got.
I'm here. How you doing? Gilbert,
You got me, Gilbert Garcia, with a tip for me, with Annise Parker, former mayor, former councilperson, former everything, former city controller, and soon to be our next county judge. But what do you got?
I got to say congratulations to Annise Parker, and let her know that her record speaks for herself, y'all. When she was the mayor, she ran for the mayor, and when she ran, she did all the things she said she was going to do. And she just stated all the staff stayed with her. Then she knows that the person that she's running against This woman here, when the people in the lower neighborhood, Letitia Plummer, when them people came to the city council and talked about all that toxic waste, she did nothing for them, y'all. That's one thing you know. This woman is going to do something for y'all. And you know the seat that she's getting ready to go for county judge, and Lena Hidalgo had that seat. That was the most powerful white men who had those seats, and they're going to do whatever they can to stop her, y'all. So you got to get out there, like you say, and reckon numbers and vote, and get somebody in that office that's going to be able to help us, y'all. Because right now, we at a crisis right now, and we got a lot of local stuff we got to deal with. We know it's a bunch of other stuff on the ballot right now. But get behind a woman like that, because she I'm telling you, I'm not just saying that because I'm gonna answer for a job when she get in. No, I'm just playing. But anyway, y'all listen to her and understand that what she did. She didn't when she got out of office, she didn't go back and run to another side. Guess what she running for, y'all? The same Democratic Party. You see what those people do? They jump sides on her. But she didn't do that, y'all. I'm telling y'all, better keep your eyes open.
There you go. Don't leave me, Mark. Don't leave me, because don't leave me just yet there, Mark, because you know what? I think he said something that I just hadn't said, but it needs to be said, which is you are one of those elected officials that will not overpromise and say a bunch of, just a bunch of, I don't want to say BS, but BS. You've always been straight with people, and you always acknowledge what can be done, and you always do what you say you're going to do. What a great leadership that is.
It is always my intention.
That is you.
Not never overpromise.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's always better to underpromise and overdeliver. Mm-hmm. So, Mark, let me ask you this. I know we have other people calling in, and when you're calling in, please stay on the line. We're going to get you on. Mark, what do you think? What's the number one issue? You're talking to the next county judge here. What's the number one issue you want her to focus on?
I just want to focus on the facts of what's going on in all our communities and these judges' decisions that are being made. I just want her to look at it. And I know when she look at it, she's not going to look at it who got the most money or race. She's going to look at what the facts of the case. And that's what we ask these elected judges to do, is to look at the facts. And this going to be some critical things that she's going to be looking at, y'all, because, number one, Annise, it's a lot of toxics that we've been fighting for in our community, especially in Acres Homes. And we know you're a judge that's gonna have a say-so in that. And if you get a chance,
environmental issues are concern all over the same. Yeah, because we've been in an industrial area because of the oil and gas industry for a long time. Yeah.
Well, Mark, I think
listen, y'all.
You go ahead.
Know what she just said. She know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm telling y'all, you better listen, because when she was in office, she did everything she said she was gonna do. And now she's back running for this position. And the other ones, what they is, they way on the other side trying to get in. We don't need that, y'all. I'm
Thank you.
I'm going with her, y'all.
Thank
I'm telling you right now. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you, my friend. Mark, thank you. Call in anytime. We have another caller already. Is there a Brother Chris on the line? Brother Chris. Brother Chris, are you there, my friend?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. What do you got there, Brother Chris, on this fine Monday with me and Annise Parker, our soon to be county judge? But what do you got?
Well, Annise Parker, you was my favorite mayor, and I did vote for you, so I'm glad you running Annise.
Thank you.
I also want to tell people about another good candidate who's running for the Chief Justice 14th Court of Appeal, Ms. Connie Gonzalez. Okay, she's a Democrat. Connie Gonzalez, she runs for Chief Justice 14th Court of Appeals. And we need people like Connie and Miss Annise Parker. She's fair, she's smart, she's going to rule according to the law. She's not going to just look out for the rich and powerful. She's going to look out for the little man. She's going to look out for the least, the last, the lost, the left out, the locked, and left behind. That's what we need in our government, from the city government, county government, state government, federal government. We need judges going to be fair. We need county judges that are going to be fair. That's why I'm so glad we got Miss Annise Parker running. And we need to get the right people in office. And the best way anybody can celebrate and commemorate the member of Jesse Jackson to get out and vote. Vote in record-breaking number. Yes, we can. Yes, we will. And you are somebody.
That's right.
And I'm so glad he brought.
Stay with us, sir. Stay with us.
We should have talked about that, because that is a huge loss for America and for the civil rights movement, and one of the last of a generation I actually had the privilege of meeting him several times. I met John Lewis several times and was in awe of both of them.
I never met Congressman Lewis, but we worked with Jesse Jackson because he had his whole effort on the Wall Street Project. I was Bishop Dixon asked me to go speak, but I couldn't because I was out of town or something. But we did talk about it on my show last time, and I put on my social media 2 great clips. One is his whole thing at the Democratic National Convention of what being a Democrat is.
Yes.
And it's poetry. And then the other was he was on Sesame Street when he brought up that I am somebody. And and he goes, my hair might be different, my skin may be different color, but I am somebody. I mean, it's wonderful. So Houston, Harris County, go see it. It's beautiful. And he's talking to all these kids of all different types. It was just so beautiful. But Brother Chris, let me ask you something. What do you think? You're talking to the next county judge here. What do you think is the number one thing she should be focused on?
Well, you got a lot of issues out here, and one of the one thing, in my opinion, is affordability.
Mm-hmm.
You got
economy, affordability. Yep.
And you also got this homeless problem out here. We got to do something about this homelessness. And a lot of people, let me say this, a lot of people out there are homeless not because they own drugs. Some people just don't make enough money.
Yes.
It's not because they own drugs. They own because they own drugs. That's not necessarily true. A lot of people just don't make enough money. You got the cost of living just steady going up and the chance of living just steady going down, and affordability, and I guess that homelessness would fall on affordability. I think the number one is affordability. Well, and it's a homeless problem out here. And Jesse also said this, black, yellow, brown, or white, we all are precious in God's sight.
Amen. Brother Chris, you said something interesting, which is at the end of the day, most people, a large percentage of Houstonians and all over the country, are like one event away from losing their home. Just one event, one health issue, one event away, and not having the extra savings to be able to handle that one event. And so that is why we got to all have a heart. Because that's right, and they are wonderful people too.
You and Mr. Annise Parker, this is not a black and white thing, a race thing. This is a wrong and right thing. This is not a Democratic Republican thing. Yep. And I'm not picking let's pick the person. Now it proves my point. We just said not too long ago, okay, Olympic gold medal gymnast, Mary Lou Retton, she had a grown Facebook page, PayPal, GoFundMe page to try to raise money and help pay for medical bills. Now, this is Mary Lou Retton now, Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
Just not too long ago, her family has set up a GoFundMe page to help pay for medical bills. And she's a white lady. It's not black and white. It can help anybody. You follow me? So it's not about black and white, Republican, Democrat. It's about have not, and we all we got. And we gotta, we all we need. We gotta take each other now. We gotta take the race out of it. It's a people's problem. It's not a black or white problem. Not a Democrat problem. It's a people's problem. And God don't make leaders. God makes servants, and they become leaders. Mr. Annise Parker improved that. Okay, Mr. Annise Parker started somewhere working in somebody's office, just running errands, volunteering. She became mayor and all that good stuff. Like I said, I'm voting for you, Mr. Annise Parker. You got my support. We also vote Ms. Connie Gonzalez, Chief Justice 14th Appeal, and vote my friend Al Green in. We need Al. We need that fighting congressman. I mean, it's not about Al Green being old. He got the wisdom, he got charisma, he got the talent, he got the experience. He didn't look old to me when he held that sign up and snapped it back. He snapped that sign back from Mullins and Neal. And it takes courage to do what Al Green did. It takes courage to get in the president's face and call facts what they are. It takes courage to say, hey, you don't have the authority to mandate Medicare. It takes courage for you to speak up for what's right. One voice with courage makes a majority, and he's continuing to do that, not just for the 18th Congressional District, but for everybody, because it impacts everybody.
Amen to you there, Chris. But you know what? I'm ready to take the hill. Let's go. Brother Chris, thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So, Gilbert, it's been fun to be on the. It's gonna be. I'm gonna be out of here like a shot because I got someplace else I gotta be.
Don't worry, and I'm glad you're here. We have one more caller, and you know what? And we're almost there anyway. And thank you for being here, Jess. Are you there, Jess? I know we have a Jesse.
Gilbert.
Jesse, you got me, Gilbert Garcia, the Tip for Me, Talk, Inspiration, and Prayer with Annise Parker. What do you got for me or Annise, or for Houston, Harris County?
I want to congratulate Annise Parker for running, and I know she's the most qualified and I know she will be the best Harris County judge in the history of the county. But I know she running against Orlando Sanchez in the runoff. I know that will happen. Orlando's counting on the Hispanic vote. They carry him over with his name and the Hispanic vote. What is the plan for Annise Parker to counteract that strategy?
So that's actually a great question. And first of all, there are 6 people on the Republican side for county judge. Orlando and Marty Langton are the front runners, but there's going to be a runoff over there, and I don't know which one will come out. I have known Orlando for a long time. We are cordial. He actually sat next to me on city council. He's a nice man. He was a great dad. But he's going to have to bring more than just the Hispanic vote to win in November. I have the connections in all communities of Houston. I have endorsements from and strong support in the Latino community as he does, and so I fully expect to go toe to toe with him. But I also a broader support across Houston, across all ethnic communities.
And Jess, I don't know what the numbers of the polls say, but I know one thing: Marty Langton's not going to be a pushover, so I think that's going to be a tough race.
Yeah, it will be a runoff.
Yeah, and the next thing, Gilbert, when are you going to bring Orlando on the air?
Well, tell him to call me. I'll get him on. I'll get him on.
Sounds good.
Let's get through this primary and see where things fall out, and then we'll do that. And of course, there's a runoff, and he should be calling in, so he's welcome to call in anytime.
All right, and Gilbert, thank you very much for sponsoring the American Legion on our golf tournament coming up. Thank you so much.
My pleasure to do things for the community. Amen. Now, you know what, Mayor? I always got to say, I got a couple of tacos for you, the best carne guisada that we get from Laredo Taqueria, and I want to make sure, that the food is good, and I really mean it. And they don't pay me to say this, other than I get a free taco here and there. But actually, no, I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to pay for it. I really am. You know what? I'm sure that they have those in the space station because Mr. Wirtz, the commander, said that they took tortillas in space. And he said that's because they last longer than bread. Who would have thought? So I want to give you the last word there, Annise Parker, because I really mean it. You're fantastic. And I think you hear people, you were talking, so you didn't get to see all the comments that people were saying. The Latino community is behind you. Everyone's behind you. It's going to be, in my view, a good victory on Tuesday. And then let's get to work for November. So what do you got? You got the last word.
I think we're at a pivot point in American history. There's so much going on in this country that is taking us in the wrong direction. Those of us who care about each other, who care about our future, who care about the country, need to show up first and vote. But then we can't just leave it at the ballot box. We have to get re-engaged in civic life. We have to lift each other up. We have to support each other. And we have to set a different expectation for public officials and leaders. And then at the county level, I don't go in with all the answers. I go in with a listening ear and a lot of experience and the willingness to make hard decisions. But I need your love, prayers, and support. But I also need your advice and your engagement. Let's all do this together.
Let's do it. Houston, Harris County, y'all know me. You know Gilbert Garcia, tip from me. I am telling you, this is what we need to run Harris County. It is time. We need to get more, mature leadership, a lot more working around the horseshoe, the whole table, a lot of, working across the aisle, solving problems. We need a lot more Annise Parker at the county level. Tuesday, you can make it happen. This is Gilbert Garcia saying, we'll see you next time. All right, Houston, Harris County, this is Gilbert Garcia of A Tip from Gilbert, Talk, Inspiration, and Prayer. We're going to now be on television. We will air every Saturday on Comcast 17, AT&T Channel 99, Phonoscope Channel 96, Suddenlink 99, and also hmstv.org. Every new episode every Saturday at 7 p.m. And follow me on social media. See you then.